advent calendar. I did not peek, I promise. I just accidentally got it caught in something, so I started to tear my paper. So let us see what we got in here. We have a stamp. Oh my gosh, it's the cutest little happy holiday stuffed with love and holiday cheer. It's a little stocking with a little gingerbread man and a couple of presents. I'm going to go ahead and grab a few things and we will get started to make this card. Thinking we may use a piece of this background paper to make a card as our inspiration. So I'll grab a few things and I'll be right back. All right, I got some things pulled together here and let's get started. I got a piece of Not Your Mama's scrap cardstock here. I'm gonna quick stamp this out. I did a die cut of some red cardstock with a tag die from my stash. I'm thinking I'm going to do Stuffed with Love and Holiday Cheer. Put this over here. We'll stick this guy down over here. We're just going to fussy cut out that stamp. We might fussy cut out the stocking. Just going to stamp them down with some Raven Detail ink here. A nice little sentiment. This doesn't take long. I am going to color this in with some Olo markers, so if you want to sit back, relax, and enjoy, I will speed it up a little bit, play some Christmas music, and going to fussy cut them out, and then we will come back and finish making our card. Any affiliate, anything that's available inside the store, I will link down below. They will be affiliate links, which just means if you place an order using one of my links, you will I will receive a small kickback and at no additional cost for you, which just helps me bring content to your channel. We're going to do some very basic coloring with this. Markers. I will say, I forgot, I am going to put a piece of scratch paper underneath. That tends to help a little bit with bleeding, just in case, especially when you're using a marker like red. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring. I might do a quick blend on a couple of these colors, but nothing super fancy. So I will see you back when I am ready to assemble the card. Okay, I am back. I'm going to use my sand eraser to kind of just sand off the back side, try to get any funky edges. Sometimes there's little like wispy papers on the edge, to just kind of make sure that they're cleaned up a little bit, especially sometimes on these corners. It helps clean off those extra little wispy edges and round off a few edges if I get like a sharp little corner because I didn't do it right quite with my scissors. Now, I had a little bit of erping. I don't know if you noticed that with my brown marker there, it kind of blopped out on me. It was a little too juicy, so I needed to, I rubbed it on, if you notice that, and I rubbed it on the edge of my paper. That was one way that you can use to get some of that extra ink off. So if you see it getting, your alcohol markers getting very, very wet, if you have a Copic, you can take off both edges, and that should help or equal it out. But if you don't have a Copic, like the Olos like I have to, that's what I do, is I just kind of rub it on the extra on the outside edges. Now I'm just going to go through and add a little bit of white. And I actually put it where his eyeballs are too, hopefully, and his smile. And a little bit on his icing and his bow there. And then I'm just going to kind of set this aside to dry because it takes a couple minutes for that white gel pen to dry. So let's set them off to the side. Now, I think I am going to use some of this pattern paper. I'm going to go ahead and cut off. What I've been doing, if you haven't seen me do this before, I've been cutting off the bottom edge in both sides. That is giving me 2 pieces of paper. This piece I may save for another project. Even though I've got that little 9 there, I can save this for another project. And then this is the piece I'm going to use for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off that bottom. And I did not cut this straight over here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Still not straight. There we go. That's a little better. I'm going to go ahead and cut the lid, the cover off here too. There, I just wanted to cut that green off so it looked a little bit better. And we're just going to use a little bit of this on our tag. I think we're just going to make a stripe out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just, let's see. It's 5 inches by 4.5. So I'm going to go ahead and go down and cut off a good 1.5 inches from here. And we're just going to go ahead and glue that right on. Now I could use the die to cut it out, and that would give it the little edges, but I'm not gonna worry about that too much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I kind of want to use a little bit. So we're just gonna add a little glue. I'm gonna go ahead and add it kind of to the whole thing, and then I can rearrange it wherever I want. And then I'm gonna add a little glue to this edge and a couple spots, and then I'm pretty sure this side is probably good. I'm just gonna eyeball it. We'll just put a little glue right there. And then straight, make it straight. Actually, I'm gonna go this way, I think. We're gonna put the edges straight on our desk. Nope, we're gonna go this way so I can see it easier. And I'm just using my grid mat. Okay. I'm going to go and put that piece up there and put this one right here. And we're going to go line this up. I'm going to go right about here. And that's going to give me just a little bit of the brown on each edge. And press that down. And I can actually wrap it around the back side. to finish that off. And that little extra fun is just a little pattern. Now, I also pulled in a piece of the yesterday's paper pad, the Classic Christmas. These are the colors, between these kind of colors, these are the colors I kind of chose for my panel. I have a card base here. And we're going to put this card panel down on here. However, I'm going to cheat a little bit. And we're going to do what we did before yesterday. We're going to cut this down just a bit. I'm going to just cut it at 2 3/4. And I was thinking of layering it on this piece, but I don't know if I want that much red on my card. So I'm going to save that for another day. So I'm going to put this piece here. And we're going to put this piece here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in a piece of the green paper. This is the billiard. And all I like to do is cut them down in half. Put this piece away in its container. And then I cut this one down into an A2 card size. So I have one panel ready to go. And then we'll cut this one down. I'm going to cut this one down to about 2 inches. It should be enough. Yep, and we're just going to stretch that. But I do need to cut it to 4-inch wide this time, because I want it to be the same distance as my pattern paper. I thought this was fun, a fun pattern. I mean, you could use any of the colors, but I thought this was not quite the night red. This was a little bit closer to the red of my cardstock. So we'll just go ahead and add this, to our card base. Once again, we're gonna just kind of eyeball it at the top so that all the sides and everything look equal. Or as equal as I can make them. I guess my card base is not folded properly, so let's see if I can fix that a little bit. That's probably a little better. So yeah, my card is, let's see if I can get that off. Yep, I didn't push it down too much yet. So we can move it over just a hair so that it's, there, that looks better. And then we'll add some, so if you don't stick it down tight, or if you use liquid glue, you tend to have a little bit more time to pull it apart. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this, it was this pattern. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it this way, just so it looks like the pattern is continuing. Once again, eyeballing the edges. Still not 1000%. There, that makes it better. Makes it better. Okay, and then we will put our piece of billiard on. And that is where I chose my colors to color my images from, was from these two pattern papers. And we're just gonna go ahead and layer those over the top, trying to overlap them as best I can so it doesn't look like there's any extra that, you know, didn't quite get it straight. Okay, so this one is over just a hair. That's why sometimes you need to make sure you take your time and line up your paper appropriately, because then if you get it done right the first time, it's closer. Then you don't have to worry about like having non-perfect edges. All right. Then I'm gonna go ahead, yeah, it's still not perfect. I don't like it. So I'm gonna pull this up and just see if that looks better. I think what I did is I cut my piece of paper too small. So we're going to cut it down, and instead of trying to fight it, I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. Once again, I'm going to cut that down to about, what did I say, 2 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to go ahead and double check and make sure, because every once in a while your paper is off just a hair when it gets cut. It is just a hair over 4. Just a hair, like not even a 4 1/8. So we'll go just a hair and cut that off and see what that looks like. That is so much better. Okay, but that's a little bit too much green, so we're going to cut it down to 2 1/4 inch. So much better when I go to put this down now. So yeah, it was just a hair larger, so I needed to measure that. And I should have measured my cut pattern paper. But I'm going to leave that in this video so that you can see that's how you can fix it. I mean, there's always ways you can fix a card. And then I'm going to line them up on that edge, and I'm going to line it up. I'm going to put it down just a little bit further, I think. And when I line it up, there we go. Now we've got this. And then we've got this tag piece. There's no tag part for it. I'm okay with that. We're just going to put a little focal point on here and put our little thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down with some foam tape. And I'm just going to tear it. I'll just stick the extra piece down on this other piece of sticky release paper. And I will pull these off. Can't get that up. All right, we're going to just kind of put this at an angle. And then we're going to glue down our images. Stuffed with love and holiday cheer. And then we'll add some bling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to add 11 gems. That's a lot of gems, but that's the fun part. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these crystal gems. I got a big blob of glue right there, but I'll fix that here in a minute. We'll do that one last. Grab my pickup stick thing here. Stick our crystals down. You could do some stickles, you could do sequins, you could do some glitter stock. I keep forgetting we got glitter stock on day 1, so I could be using some glitter stock. A little glitter stock, if you have like a hole punch or something, would be fun to add a little of that to this. And then to clean up that, I'm going to just do is, I'm just going to set this down and push it down into each one of my gems. I'm not moving them, I'm just going down and up. And that helps take up any of the extra glue so it doesn't really dry. And there is our card for today. So I will see you tomorrow for day 10, I believe. So have a great night. Bye.